Okay, this video is how to set up the Spectrovis so you can make a Beer's Law plot. So this will be how you can get it set up. So first thing that you want to do is plug it in. And when you plug it in, you should see a screen that looks like this. After this comes up, this screen has to come up, this rainbow screen. You have to go to Experiment, I believe, and you want to calibrate it. So you go to Experiment, Calibrate right here, click on this, and hopefully, okay, there it goes. Okay, so now we're gonna let it warm up. Okay, but while it's warming up, you need to get a cuvette, which will be the little square-looking test tube thing, and you need to make sure that you have a clean one. And so it's best to probably wipe it off with lens paper or something like that to get it clean. But anyway, you need a clean cuvette. Make sure that you only hold it. Make sure that you only hold it by the rough sides. Don't hold it by the smooth sides because that's where the light's going to go through. All right, so get a clean cuvette, and then you want to fill the cuvette with distilled water. So you'll fill it probably about 7/8 full with distilled water, and make sure you put the lid on it, and then you can put the cuvette in the machine. Now the light has to shine through the sides without the rough edges, so you want to put it in so the light is going through. There's a little arrow that shows that the light is going through. You want that to go through the sides with the smooth edges, not the rough edges. Okay, so you'll let it warm up. So we're almost there. Okay, so then we'll hit, it says place a blank cuvette. Okay, a blank means it has to be filled with distilled water. Okay, because if distilled water has 0 absorbance. So we're going to fill it with distilled water and then put that in the machine, then finish the calibration. Okay, then you hit OK. Now, the next step is critical. You got to make sure you follow these directions carefully. Take your cuvette and dump out the distilled water. Okay, fill your cuvette with some stock solution, just a little bit, and rinse the cuvette out with the stock solution, and then fill the cuvette 7/8 full with the stock solution, or the stock solution is the one that's going to be the most concentrated in this lab. So you want to fill it, make sure you handle it only by the rough sides, stick it in the machine. And now what we're going to do is we're going to configure a spectrum. And to do that, you got to click on the rainbow right here. It says configure spectrometer. So we're going to click on that. Now we're going to do a Beer's Law study, which is absorbance versus concentration. So it's really important that you click this button right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pick the best wavelength. And so for a Beer's Law study, the absorbance has to be in between 0.2, it can't be any lower than that, and 1. Now, what you want to do is you want to pick, with the most concentrated solution you're testing, which is the one I have in the machine now, we want to pick a wavelength that gives you the maximum absorbance as long as that absorbance doesn't go over 1. And you can see that the way that I made the stock solution that you're working with, that the most concentrated one is 0.8, and this machine will automatically pick out the highest peak, the highest absorbance. Sometimes though you have to move this to make it not be over 1. In this case we're at 0.8, so we want to start our first solution, the one that's the most concentrated, at the highest absorbance as long as it doesn't go over 1, and this machine has picked that out for us, so we'll hit OK. So we'll click on that and we'll hit OK. Now what you want to do is you want to hit the play button, and you'll hit the play button, and what that will do is it will measure the absorbance here, and once that kind of stabilizes a little bit, you'll want to hit the keep button. So the keep button is this wagon wheel right here. So you hit keep. Now what you're going to do is you're going to type in the molarity of the substance that we have in the machine. And so in this case, this would be like test tube number 1, and we're going to say that it's at 7 micromolar. So 7, don't put any units with it. And don't worry about changing it to micromolar. Just put in what it is and we'll know that the units are micromolar. So we'll hit OK. Alright, so then we'll dump out the cuvette. Don't hit the stop button. Do not hit the stop button as you're collecting this. Dump out the cuvette. Put in the stuff from your second test tube, but rinse the cuvette out just with a little bit of this solution. And then what you want to do is fill it up with test tube number 2 and stick it in the machine. Alright, so here's a critical part. Watch right down here as I stick it in the machine. So I'm going to stick it in the machine, but you got to wait till that absorbance moves up and kind of stabilizes a little bit. So now it's kind of stabilized. Then you can hit the keep button. A big mistake is hitting the keep button before the absorbance has time to jump up there. So you hit keep, and I don't even know what the second one's supposed to be for the molarity. I'm just going to say 4. I know that's not right, but whatever your data says, you'll have a table to do that. And so what you're going to do is you're going to do all your test tubes that you made for this lab. You're going to start and you're going to go from the highest to the lowest molarity. When you get all done, hit the stop button, and then what you're going to want to do is analyze, and you're going to want to hit linear fit, and then that's going to put a graph on there. You can hit the auto scale button. I guess it's already auto scaled. And then what you want to do is save this document for something that we're going to be doing at a later date. So that would be how you would end up doing this lab. That's it.